Oh yeah. Oh no, man.
Don't know what you're looking at.
Nope.
Can't see nothing.
All right, what's up, guys? What up, everybody? We are here once again live. Welcome to Apartment 4A. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We're gonna try to get everything kick-started. Of course, we're here with the original foe, I would say. No, ain't no original foe. We're just the original in the apartment. I don't want JK to jump on us.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah. Everybody doing all right tonight?
Yes,
Doing
sir.
good.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
Doing good.
Doing good. The kids sleep. Can't complain, man.
Ah,
Good times.
mine ain't sleep. They in the bed.
Oh man.
Hey,
Eric, what time you put your kids down, man?
hey, we go to war at 7:30.
It's a
Seven thirty.
battle.
7:30.
7:30.
7:30.
I'm still
Hopefully,
running around at
ho-
7:30.
I know.
hopefully
You
they
don't get to
sleep.
run out
Hopefully
there
they
at your
sleep
house.
by. Hopefully they sleep by 9. We went back and forth with the tummy aches and the bad dreams and I can't sleep and I'm too hot and I'm too cold. Hopefully we're done with all that by 9.
Hey, man, we trying to get started around 8 with the bath and try to be in the bed by 8:30. And hopefully
Yeah.
we be sleep by 9 or 9:30.
Yeah, that
Well,
is the way to
let
mine.
y'all into a little secret. It gets better. At 9:30, I say y'all start winding down. At 10 o'clock, I say go to bed. They in the bed. They sleep at 10:05.
Hey,
Oh,
so I got both
They
sides of
on.
the coin. So my youngest is the reason why we start the bedtime shenanigans at 7:30. My oldest tell her go to bed. Okay. The older the youngest one gets, the more the older one hates going to sleep. Like that's just how it is. Because the youngest will make so much noise about going to sleep. She cry and all this stuff. The oldest one's like, hey, I don't want to go to sleep either. I didn't know there was an option.
So I can act the food and stay up for the next hour.
I'm
Let's do it.
telling you, I can get out to bed 10 times and come tell y'all everything hurt.
it's
You
terrible.
try that out.
Mm. Yeah, no, I'll
So
tell you.
so
What?
who do bedtime routine most of the time at your house, Kelly?
Me,
Yeah,
I'm the bedtime enforcer. They
The
got to
bad
go.
guy.
They got to go.
I feel you. We rotate most of the time, man. It's we basically do every other day. He never wants to go. He never wants me to take him to bed, but he
Hmm.
always go to sleep faster if I go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of how it was, especially with my oldest. Like I could put her to sleep, but with Ashley, especially because Ashley, she breastfed, so she'd always want to eat with her. So especially once she started kind of weaning her off, he was like, "Yeah, come on with daddy, I'll put you to sleep. You ain't expecting that from me."
Shout out to Ashley. Hey, Ashley, she joined in there real quick.
Hey, baby. Okay, I like how it has like the little Facebook moniker by their name, showing you what
Yeah.
they watching on. This what's up. What up, Quinn?
So Quentin is another father. I know we got to talk about fatherhood a little bit tonight. There's another father in there. He
Mhm.
actually just had another son. He's like a couple of months old. So yeah,
Oh yeah,
congratulations.
Congrats.
Daddy version 2.0.
Oh yeah, he owned it.
Yeah.
All right, well we'll get started, man. I mean, I guess we already started. No JP gonna be late, so it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. Here coaching these kids to greatness, man.
Man,
Not at 9 o'clock on a Wednesday.
right on a Wednesday.
Hey, his whole team at his house though. He a
Oh,
coach.
Oh
JP
He's
yeah,
at
he
told
work
got
and a
that
coach
now.
at home.
He got a yeah.
He got a squad, man.
He got a whole soccer team
I still got a basketball team.
he told
now.
JP.
And
JP was the main
with
one
a
in here
six
talking.
man.
JP was the
Uh-huh.
main one texting saying, "I'm ready."
Oh yeah.
And then
He
when
must
nine
think
Ready
we
to
o'clock
get
on.
he
it and
disappeared.
everything.
He might be on Eastern time or something like that.
Yeah. Had to get him a clock for Christmas.
He did
Ron,
ask him with central.
you didn't give us a layout for the night.
So tonight, I guess it'll be. Oh yeah, tonight I guess it is supposed to be me. Supposed to introduce myself a little bit, and then we'll
Hmm.
jump straight into fatherhood. We'll let Eric kind of control everything. We'll try to
Yeah.
switch it up. Let everybody give a different chance to host a little bit. So
Oh yeah.
Eric will keep us on task. He'll be the enforcer today. See, he got the red Solo cup on point.
Oh yeah, an enforcer starter kit for sure.
Ah,
All right,
Yeah,
man. Yeah,
so
so I guess I go ahead and take over.
yeah.
So, like Rob was saying, we highlighting a different member for the first 6 episodes. Original episode, we started out with Willie D. This time we're gonna highlight Mr. Rod T, otherwise known as Roderick Thurman. We're gonna give his full government name since
Roderick.
this episode is talking about him. I guess we'll give Rod a chance to get like a quick kind of background, and then we'll go around the room and kind of talk about how we met Rod and what we thought about him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm from Madison, Mississippi, the mean streets of Madison County. Y'all don't know nothing about it. Madison County, we here. Went to Madison Central High School, Jaguar. Welcome to the jungle. You know, you're defending 6A football champions. You know, 6A. Not little 5A, but 6A.
And baseball.
Oh, so y'all so they doping over there is what you're saying.
Oh, hey.
We won baseball last year too.
Oh yeah, we won baseball. I forgot about that. And so no, it's all good. I'm just had to mess with Willie.
We can move on. Let's wrap it up.
I also went to University of Southern Mississippi where I got a degree in computer engineering technology. I got a minor in electronics. I then went into the technology side of public and mental health or behavioral health. I've been doing that for the last 11 years, just dealing with different technology applications, the other thing dealing with public and mental health. And so I've been working at a nonprofit for the last almost 3 years. And I've just been going great and loving it there. Got married in 2012. Got an anniversary coming up on Friday. We'll be married 10 years.
Hey,
so shout out to my wife, Karen. She may be on. Shout out to her. Got a 4-year-old. He think he runs the world. I say it all the time.
He do.
At least he try. My funny thing with him is I don't think he ever walks anywhere. I'm sure y'all all know. That's all he do is run. Say go to the bathroom, gotta run.
Oh yeah.
So we try to get him to slow down when it's time to go to bed, but it don't work. yeah, that's me, man. I'm here. I'm loving it. I'm glad to be here.
Hey, that's what we like to hear, man. So I guess we'll start out with Terrence, because I think you probably known Rod the longest out of everybody in the group. Kind of give, I guess, like a quick rundown, like how you and Rod met. And
me and Rod met in high school, and the computer class.
Yeah.
We met in 10th grade.
In Votech.
Yep. We from there we joined the TSA, Technology Association, Student Association.
Y'all in TSA?
Mm-hmm.
I was in TSA too.
Yeah, we had to make the little race car. They cheated us out the thrust competition because they didn't give us the rule book. We got 3rd place, and then when we went to awards, they said we got disqualified.
It was too fast. They said it was too fast. Like, how can you be too fast? But whatever.
Y'all
we don't need to go back in time and hash that out. But me and Rod, we've been cool ever since. Rod stopped doing technology TS at Votech senior year or junior year.
I think it was senior year because it was the same time as band.
Yeah, so I kept doing it, and then Rod had his mind set on USM, but I was torn between Mississippi State. I said I want to go up there to Starkville. They had a really good computer program. I went visit Starkville one spring break, and I realized this is not for me. And I don't think the last time I went back to Starkville was when JP basketball party.
You like the green pastures? You like the landscape? You didn't feel welcome?
I did not feel welcome at all.
It's a hard boy, man.
Anything, I felt like an outcast. But whatever. I said I can't go to Ole Miss. I can't go to Jackson State because I'm from the area. I said, let me try this let me go visit USM. I fell in love with the campus. So I said, I'm gonna go to Southern Miss, and then Rod already was planning on going. So I said, let's be roommates. That's when I met all y'all.
So with Southern Miss, when you went and visited, Was it a black campus or a white campus when you went?
You know what?
What
I
side
didn't
of
even.
Southern Miss was it that you saw?
I be honest, I didn't even notice it. It was that. It was just that. It was just that welcoming. I didn't even notice it.
Yeah, because the kind of rumors being like depending on what day of the week, especially back when we was going, they had the stuff on the hub and things like that. Depending on which day you went, you either see the black side of Southern Miss or you see the white side. So I was
I
curious
guess if I had to
what
seriously
it
think about it,
was.
I didn't see the
I
black
never
side. I
saw
guess
that
it was
white
the white
side.
side.
Exactly. All right. So
Hey, could you repeat all that?
hey, you
Of
can
course
watch the
you late.
replay.
Huh?
You can watch the replay. We got you. We'll repeat all of it on the replay when you watch it back. But right now we're going through and everybody Rod's introduced himself. So we're just going through to everybody and kind of having them say when they first met Rod and kind of sharing the memory. We start out with Terrence because he's known Rod the longest out the group. And I think next up is probably gonna be Willie.
Me.
Yeah.
All right, Rod, Mr. T. How me and Rod met, he kind of gave some of that background last week when he spoke about when he met me. Of course, me, Rod, and Eric was in the great Pride of Mississippi marching band at the University of Southern Mississippi.
That's right.
Right. And like Rod said, me and Rod was there. I guess Eric, you was there too early for band camp. I don't really.
Yeah.
I guess you was there. I think you just showed up and started playing the trumpet. But me and Rod was there early. We was in Bun Hall. I think it was maybe just us three, maybe four in Bun Hall.
Like 3 or 4 people. That's it.
Yeah, and Rod came by, knocked on the door. We went to McDonald's, got a couple of Big Macs, and the friendship sparked from there. So ba-da-ba-ba-ba. We friends, I guess. So, after that, we all bonded. Me and Rod was roommates sophomore year.
Yep.
And then he wanted to move on to big and better things and become an RSA. That was fine because I got my own room, so I was cool with that. And then after that, we moved into apartment 4A, and the rest is history.
Hey. Yep. All right. And so I guess I'll be next up because I did meet you guys at band camp. When I met Rod, I'm pretty sure he was it was in band, right? So he was out in the field, and it wasn't many of us out there, so just kind of taking note of who was like me and who wasn't. Then of course the fact that we was in Bond Hall together, and I think me and Terrence had a class together, and ended up coming by with Terrence, and that's how I ended up actually meeting Rod and Willie. And of course, Rod being one of the few people that had transportation on campus, I think he was like, I got an invite to Walmart one night. I got to ride in the Yoda and listen to the sweet sounds of the tens in the back. And after that,
it's cool.
My bad. I didn't mean to disrespect you, man. That's my fault, man.
They were 12. It's all good.
They was 12. They sound like 15 though. Like,
they were 30s on Thursday night.
on Thursday, what 30 though?
Yeah, but yeah. So my biggest memory initially was coming from Atlanta and thinking I knew how to play Madden and NCAA, and going to Rod and Willie room and trying to show off my skills. I realized quickly I didn't know the buttons. I didn't know nothing about the game. These dudes, our entire friendship, I've never won a game, not a single game, not on accident, not because they messed up a play. Like that's how they did me, man. And that went over in the Smash Brothers too. That's something that the Rod really just is disrespectful.
Smash Brothers champ right here.
Boy, don't lie to the people like that.
You still got my stats on there.
That's just I still got them stats. They don't look that great.
I'm up. I know I'm up.
Yeah, but yeah. So after sophomore year, me and Terrence actually moved in together, and then we all went together in on apartment 4A. And I remember when we met, there was a guy named Richard that was actually trying to fund those apartments, trying to get all the leases. So he was hustling up students, trying to get us to find kids who want to stay. Like, hey man, it's May. You can't pay me till September. That's fine. I don't care. Just sign a lease. I just need leases. That's it.
They was they were letting us in. Son.
He was saying so.
I had no job, no income. Come on, you can get a room.
You don't need no co-sign or nothing.
I'll tell you, man. It was a match made in heaven. College
I
student.
see it in your eyes. You're a good person. You gonna pay rent.
Come on.
I feel like one day you can make some money. Man. Come on in.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. But apartment 4A, man, was, it was a great bonding experience, a lot of laughs. It was awesome. A lot of memories there. Yeah.
For sure.
All right, so next up, I guess it's gonna be J Key.
Dark.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
we got
you.
Okay. I'm driving. I'm driving, and I got in trouble because I didn't have my camera on last week. People talked about me, so I got the camera on.
I mean,
so the people who watching
just like you got it on.
Can't see me, but I'm finna pull up the Wendy's, give me something to eat. So I got the camera on.
Hey, no, like this week you really need to cut the camera off while you're driving.
So I really don't remember how I met Rod, but I know I met Rod through Willie, but I just don't remember how we actually started talking because I talked about everybody. So I don't really remember the first conversation we had.
It's probably
I'm
smart. Yeah,
I'm parking. I'm not gonna pull in the drive-through until I get finished. But I don't remember the first conversation we had. I feel like I know him all for the longest time. I can't remember the first conversation. I just remember me through Willie.
Yeah, I
know
mean,
you said something smart. I had been something. I probably threatened you something.
Full disclaimer: I was a whole lot worse than I am now. Thank the Lord for change.
He been working on it. Overtime.
I probably was talking about Rod mama or somebody's mama or something. I know.
I can guarantee
what I used to do.
That was like your thing.
That was my thing. I thought about everybody's mama.
That was light work for you. I said that was light work for you, man.
Yeah, I think we threatened multiple times to either kick you out the group or beat you up, one or the other. And nobody ever agreed with me beating. Nobody ever agreed with me beating you up. So,
but let's just be honest though, Terrence. Me and you was the ones who didn't get along the whole time. So we're a whole lot better.
That's probably why I was saying let's beat them up.
Yeah.
Terrible.
That makes sense.
I'm trying to remember. Now, Rod was one who drove us around the church when I did try to encourage them to go to church. The time that we didn't ride with Lenitra, so he did take us around.
Oh yeah.
Still had to get the Lord in.
Oh yeah. All right. So last up, Egyptian greatness, aka the Invisible Brother, Mr. MIA.
I'm here today, about 10 minutes late, but it is what it is. I really don't remember the exact time, minute, moment, hour, ran in the ride. I was just thrown into the, hey, let's come to this room, and that's what we always there but hear it. And I think that's how it went. Like I said, I don't remember.
It was just like Eric. We were beating JP and Madden in NCAA too.
No. We gotta stop the live. Let's stop this. Yes, this is
live now. This is live recording.
I said stop the lies.
Now I feel like one's gonna come out your mouth in a couple of seconds.
No, all right. Rod he did. I will say this: Rod did used to whoop everybody, but in Mario Kart,
Oh, I won in it too.
No, you didn't. You're awful. Okay, you were decent in Madden. But
I got the belt.
Decent in Madden. You're decent in Madden.
Got the belt now.
Now NCAA. See, you never
stay focused. We can talk about that later.
We talking about Rod.
Stay on topic because y'all about to go down the whole rabbit hole.
He was trying to assassinate my character. I can't have it.
But I will say Rod has always been the wise one. Uh,
I ain't smart.
no, nah,
I'm
no,
just playing.
no,
Keep going.
no,
Keep going.
nah. Rod, Rod always been the type. If he didn't know, he could find a way to get some answers for you quick, fast, in a hurry. And that was just like I said, and that was just me being a freshman down there. So Rod kind of grabbed me up under the wings of just kind of point me in the right direction, just trying to, what I'm saying, with a little advice and just trying to help me out, and he was always there. And still that, like that today, anything that you need, whatever, he's always been the type to make sure you get results in it. So Rod always been kind of the big papa around, you know what I mean? I always kind of kept everybody in line. That's just my partake in it,
Yeah. After all that tutelage, all that mentoring, you still went astray and joined Omega Sci-Fi. Can't believe it.
Well,
obviously,
Hey,
I
yeah,
had
you was a
more
lost cause
influence.
already, man. You was a lost cause.
I had a
Wasn't
little
gonna
bit
help
more influence. I'm gonna take a little pride on that, I'm gonna take that.
Yeah. I tried to make him a Sigma. He just wouldn't do right.
Yeah, man. Hey, you win some, you lose some, man.
To each his own.
Shout out real quick to Ashley. Yeah, I did meet you at Nesby. I remember that National Society of Black Engineers. I was the president of that for a little while. I think
We was in there.
Willie.
Yep.
I think even Terrence came to a meeting once or twice.
No, I was a part of it for a while. I went to conferences and everything.
Yeah.
He did go to the first conference we went to.
I think I went to two. I went like to state and national.
Oh yeah.
Tuesday, December 21st, 2021.
Yeah, Terrence was out there for a little while, man. I can't
And
even
then I got out of technology, so y'all didn't want to keep me in there for some odd reason.
Terrence said
y'all kicked me out.
Terrence said he wanted to go out and fight for our country and whatnot.
Yeah, I think you went to the military.
Yeah,
he did.
He said he wanted to make money and start living.
We
his
still
life.
appreciate you for your service.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
I do remember me and Rodney coming up with a singing group called the NFL.
Oh Lord. Hold on.
Yeah. We originally started the NFL because Kowalski was in it too.
Thank you. we were born late. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, shout out to Demetrius. Yeah, I think when I did see Demetrius the first time, I was moving some stuff around. I had the truck, so I was always asking me to move something.
Oh yeah, that Yoda was in high demand because.
Oh yeah.
The Toyota move now.
Oh yeah. Yep. But so the outside of highlighting Rod and kind of sharing some memories with him, the overarching theme for this episode is fatherhood. Obviously, it's gonna be Black fatherhood, but fatherhood in general. Reason why I want to touch on this topic is, you don't really hear people talking about how great Black fathers are. Usually, it's kind of got a negative connotation, and so just kind of sharing our experiences with being fathers to kind of provide another example and just demonstrate that we are out there. We come in different shapes and sizes, but they're good fathers that are Black do exist. Like we are in the home, we're there for our kids. Just trying to dispel some of these negative images and rumors that you hear. They kind of hate to say it, but kind of take the limelight off of the fathers that are working with their kids every day. So I kind of want to go around and just kind of have everybody share what being a Black father means to us, being able to be there for our kid and be a part of our kids' lives, and kind of impart what knowledge we do have with them. And Terrence, seeing how you kind of led the way with fatherhood, I kind of want you to kind of just share like what being a Black father means to you. You got the most experience for sure. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Appreciate you, JP. Can you hear me, Terrence? I guess we gotta move on. Well, I guess next up it's probably gonna be, is it JP? he become a father second, even though he the youngest.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
next up.
All right, so JP, if your environment allows, man, I like if you could share what being a black father means to you, man. Gotta unmute.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Uh, well, to answer your question, Terrence, can you hear us? Wave this if you hear Terrence.
Yeah, he on the iPhone, man. You know how they
Okay,
do.
okay. All right. Well, I tell you what, the experience of being a black father, you hear us? Terrence, you hear us? Well, I tell you what, the experience of being a black father,
I
you
think
hear
Terrence
us?
having some technical difficulties.
Terrence, you hear us? Well, I tell you
Okay.
what,
Yeah, he got a little echo
yeah,
going.
yeah, my voice sound. You might need to stop talking. Um,
Oh yeah, I think his earbuds died. Hey Terrence, we're gonna come back around to you. Okay, yeah.
okay, but like I said, the experience of being a black father and by me working in the school district, I see a lot of students that go around that don't have, and and it hurts. It hurts. It really do hurts. Because for one, as a black male, we know we already two strikes behind. The old saying, you down two strikes, and to just see a lot of our youth with no direction and guidance, it hurts. And and so being a black man, you want to try to do as much as possible as you can, not just for your own, but for those that are going around without. And it hurts your heart to see, and it hurts your heart. It hurts your heart to see everything that you think that you're lacking, but to see people that don't have. And it hurts your heart. It hurts your heart.
Yeah. All right.
And so like I said, and me, I have a lovely wife, a great wife. She's on. She needs to type in the comments. Uh, but we have four beautiful children, and it's just you know the world is scary. The world is scary, and we all have to go out and we all got to live. So just being there for my kids and for them to know that they got this umbrella to fall under, not just for punishment and rearing, but for advice. And that's one thing a lot of our kids don't realize that they have as a safety window. Somebody that's gonna give them that advice or communicate with them when they lost. And that and that what I needed when I was growing up more than I needed the whoopings and all that good stuff, but just to be able to reach out to somebody and talk to somebody that I can trust, kind of helped me out. So I guess to answer your question, uh, being a black man and understanding, because we don't see any positive shows on TV anymore. There's no, we all grew up watching Cosby. We grew up watching Fresh Prince of Bel Air. We all aspired to be lawyers and doctors. We wanted the two-story homes. A lot of these kids around here now, they don't see that. What I'm dealing with, what I'm working with. And so for mine and my own, just, that keeps me more humble than anything. And but I'm straight up. I ain't gonna take all the time.
No, you're doing good, bro.
Yeah, man. I know it's a passionate, topic that we are passionate about. That's why we wanted to touch on it. So we got T Taylor back in the nick of time. We were saying that you were the OG in this fatherhood game, as far as we all go. So this kind of want to get your just kind of like your experience being a father, and kind of what it means to you.
They say when you have your first child, you realize you understand what love really is,
Mm,
and that is so true. Um,
yeah.
because of course you love your wife, you love your girlfriend, you love all those people. You love your mother, you love your father, you love your
Hmm.
family members. But somebody that you brought into this world, somebody that you're responsible for, somebody who depends on you to be a successful or productive person in society. It, it it's, it's it's different,
Mm,
as in you feel the weight of the world on your shoulder with them, but they just only thing they want from you is just love. And that's what you try to give them. So it changed my life when I had my first child. Terrified as all outdoors, but I knew that I had to do everything possible to make sure that child had everything that she needed to be productive, to be successful.
Yeah. And just for context, how old were you
How
when
old
you
was I
first?
when I had my first?
Yeah.
I was 23. She'll be 14 this year. I'm 37. I was 23 when I had my first child.
Man.
Wait a minute. You said you were gonna be 14.
Yeah, you gotta.
Wait a minute.
JP, I think you know how old she is.
You don't know how old she is.
JP got to do some math. Like, hold on, now I didn't carry the one. Hold on.
He got a
Yeah,
phone
I
free.
forgot to carry the one. Mine gonna be 15 in May.
Wait a minute,
Look,
so
yeah,
you had yours first?
yeah, I had mine first. I remember
I knew
when
they was neck and neck.
yeah, we
Mhm.
were neck and neck. I remember when my wife called me and told me about ours.
Mhm.
I was sitting right by Cedric Jackson, and she called me and said I was in class. I answered the phone in class. You're like, "Hey, we're gonna have a baby." I said, "What? We're gonna have a baby?" I said, "Oh,
That's a way
but
of breaking
but
news, man.
yeah, but like Terrence said, man, this you know you appreciate it more because you see what life you brought into the world, and you definitely don't want it. You don't want anything to be hurt. You don't want them. You don't want them to suffer. You don't want them to have any type of hurt, man.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Um, next up, JK, are you available? I know you was about to eat. I want your food to get cold and like that, man.
I'm gonna pay this to you right now. I'll come back in here.
All right. I think Willie D.
It's on me.
Yeah, I'm a go after you and Ryan go.
All right. And I was trying to rep my shirt that my wife got me for Father's
Oh,
Day last
hey,
year.
there we go.
Dope black dads.
Yeah,
Not saying that all dads aren't dope. Just saying black dads are
yeah,
dope too.
exactly.
Um, but being a father, what it means to me, a black father, uh, to me is rare. It's
Mm,
precious.
yeah,
For me, being a black father means uh, being the example.
yeah.
For me, I have two young black boys,
Mm,
and we see so much. So, especially being in Mississippi,
mm,
even this week alone, you turn on the news, you see black kids. It was just it was a shooting in Macomb,
mm,
Hazelhurst. A young black man got shot. I think
mm,
either early this morning, sometime. But you see so much, and piggybacking off of what Josh said, a lot of times we have already down, or people have already made a judgment upon us.
mm,
So I think for black fathers, for us, and also what Terrence was saying, we have to provide our kids with the tools and be that person to talk to and to guide them through life, because it's so much right now, and you can only protect your kids for so long, as we all know. And at some point, they do got to get out into this world and navigate it for their own. But you want to be the example. You want to. Someone, I can't remember who told me, but someone was saying just one of the proudest moments as a parent is just to have your child grow up and knowing that they are a good, productive citizen or just a good person. And that's what I try to raise my young boys to be in this world. Because as we know, you're not always going to be treated fairly. You're
mm,
not always going to have the upper hand.
yeah,
Um, but I'm a firm believer of treat people how you want to be treated, and I try to
mm,
instill that within my boys. So
yeah,
that's what black fatherhood means to me.
yeah, yeah. I definitely agree. Definitely rare. Uh, Mr. Thurman.
Yeah. So I'm the youngest father of the bunch. I think my son. I think I had mine last. Everybody else had a child by the time I got in the game.
Mm,
But for me, being a father is just being an example, man. It's an honor, and I take it like that because I feel like everything that my dad was able to teach me, like it's my responsibility to pass that legacy along. And so I want to be that person that my son, and not just him, but any of his friends can look up to and know, hey, that's what a man's supposed to be. That's what you know, that's who I want to be. I want to be a role model. I know you hear the athletes and everybody say, "Oh, I'm not a role model," and let your child, try to model themselves after you. And
Mhm.
I take on that responsibility to be that. I
Yeah.
am I'm a youth director at my church, and I just feel like it's my responsibility to show all the young men, especially young men, but everybody, man or woman,
Mhm.
that this is what a father is. This is what a father's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the fathers that are on today, man. I appreciate you guys. I know a lot of you guys. Shout out to everybody. I just appreciate you being who you are, man, because a lot of times we don't get a lot of the recognition, but it takes a lot to be
Mhm.
a father, especially a father that's there. And so I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys for doing that, being that stand-up person, being black and proud, and continue to do that, man, because we could be a statistic. And I don't want
Definitely.
that for none of y'all, none of my or my child. So
Yeah.
that's my goal.
Yeah, I agree. Um, and for me, so I'm a girl dad 2 times over. Got a 2 year old and a 6 year old, and nothing can prepare you for being a father. Kind of along the lines of what Terrence was saying. You got your wife. She love you and she like you sometimes, but when you get a child that looks at you and their whole world revolves around you, like the sun rises and sets on you. Like even my 2 year old right now, every time I pick her up from daycare, like she runs to me like she hadn't seen me in months. Every single time, like screaming top of her lungs, like the excitement, the pure joy. So for me, especially not really having my dad around, it's a chance to, initially you feel like it's a chance to prove yourself, but quickly I kind of realized it's a way for me to, learn a different way to love really, because it's a different kind of love. You got somebody that you're teaching, somebody that you know depends on you fully. They aren't self-sufficient, they need you for everything for the most part. And so just experiencing that type of like unrelenting, like, you can be fussing out in 1 minute, in the next minute, like they come at you with the biggest smile, like nothing ever happened. It's really like a do-over. Like how you felt about, whatever you did in the past, like a kid is really, your chance to make it right in a sense. And they'll give you chance after chance. So it's really something that is precious, and like Will was saying, is really an honor to be able to be a father. And with me having 2 girls, I feel like it's not more important than being a father of a son, but it's definitely different. Right, you have a different goal. You set a different kind of example, right? Or not who you want your daughters to be, but of the qualities that you want somebody to have that they'll hopefully be with when they're choosing a mate in the future, and also teaching them about companionship with the opposite sex as well, how that relationship should go, kind of how that interaction should go, because I know a lot of you know young girls who don't have a father, they don't understand the dynamics of a relationship between a man and a woman, and kind of how that relationship should go. So you're kind of laying that foundation for what she'll experience in the future, and what she'll accept and what she won't accept, and things like that. Um, but yeah, Black Fathers Unite. We're gonna get some shirts made or something, man.
Yeah, King shirts for
Yeah,
sure. I think we need them.
yeah, and yeah. So I don't know, man. I kind of it's an interesting topic that I want to touch on a little bit. Um, as far as like Kanye West situation, for some reason, like thinking about Black fathers, that's kind of one of the most publicized parental kind of relationships, because he's been on social media heavy, talking about his kids and what Kim will and won't let him do. And I don't know if you guys have been following that or not, but I kind of wanted to get y'all's opinion on that situation because Kanye, he had a strong relationship with his mother when she passed. He kind of went off the rails a little bit, but just like the impact that social media is having on being a parent nowadays. Because our parents didn't even have cell phones when we was growing up. That was something that came around with us. So kind of parenting in this age of social media and trying to figure out how to expose them and help them understand how to use it while also trying to figure out how to regulate it and help them maintain some sort of compass with using it. I think Terrence was kind of the closest to navigating those waters. Did you want to speak on that a little bit, Terrence? Kind of how you approaching it?
Yeah, how I'm approaching it is horrible. I guess there's no there's no right way to be honest. I know JP probably can speak on the exact same thing. Being in the schools and seeing how it can destroy a kid life, and then
Mm,
and then your kid is has a desire to have to be a part of it. You try not to be too overbearing, but you understand that you have to have some kind of restriction
yeah,
because you know that if you don't have any kind of restrictions, if you don't monitor it, it can go, it can go wild. Um, I'm a school resource officer, so when I see stuff at its extreme.
yeah,
I see how
yeah.
kids can get pulled into sex trafficking just from social media.
Mm,
Somebody who's just trying to be quote unquote be their friend and then ask them to come somewhere, or somebody
mm,
who asks them, hey, send me a picture, and then they use that picture to exploit them. I mean, the stuff I've
mm,
seen over the past 4 years with social media and with cell phones. I'm
yeah,
After I see it, I go to the stream with my kids.
mm,
Then
Yeah.
I realize, hey, I gotta trust what I've been putting in my kids for all this time.
Right.
I
yeah,
can't go too extreme because I know if I go too extreme, I can push them into it. So it's
yeah,
a everyday battle. It's an
yeah.
everyday battle. And Alana, she's so mature, as in she's so responsible and mature, and
Mm,
I don't feel like I have to worry about it that much. But I don't trust the people she around because I don't know them. Just that plain and simple.
uh,
Understand.
Nothing against their parents, nothing against the kid. I know my kid. I don't know your kid.
You,
Um,
I
you said
understand
a
that.
mouthful too, Terrence, and like you said, we see it every day, and I could hate to say it like this, but I kind of see it as by me teaching, teaching school, being around boys, girls, all ages. Um, I kind of see it as practice. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
if like you say, you got to have that trust, that communication. So if you go too hard with them on certain things, it's you can push them away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but like I said, that's why I say you just got to kind of they got to hit the pitfall, but you got to be right there when they hit them. You know what I mean? And you got to have the communication available and open for them. So it's and like it's just with social media has turned everything upside down.
Mm,
Everything's okay and feasible because of social media, and if you don't use it the right way, people don't realize, kids don't realize once you send it, everybody in the whole world got it. You
yeah.
know,
And that's
it,
the thing right there, JP.
everybody.
Once
Yeah.
it go out there, everybody got it. And I don't
Mm,
think enough people and maybe fathers or just parents in general know and understand that
Mm,
social media can be good if used the right way, but a
yeah.
lot of times we let social media and other things control our kids. When they doing whatever, it's like, oh, just give them a phone so they can go sit over there and do whatever, and they
Hmm.
get into all types of stuff. I think, I think if we I hate to say it like this, but we're gonna have to limit social media to kids, man. I think it's just a certain age where they shouldn't be able to see some of that stuff. At least not till you get a chance to talk to your child. Your child
Yeah.
shouldn't the first time they hear about sex shouldn't be on Facebook or
Hmm.
YouTube or whatever. And if you don't get a chance
Exactly.
to talk to your child about that stuff first, man, you can't just have them out there in the wild learning this stuff by themselves,
Yeah.
because you just setting yourself up for failure. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of time we use it as a pacifier instead of, using it for what it was tend to be, to actually socialize with each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I feel like it's a tool. It's technology. Technology is designed to make your life easier, but just like any tool, you can use it for good or you can use it for bad. Right. So I'm not even going to use a gun metaphor, but a screwdriver. Right. I can use a screwdriver to build. I can come and shank somebody with a screwdriver. Right. It's not the tool fault. It's how you using the tool. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. I'm uh
And then
I'm
with
I'm
the
looking
exact
down that.
same and with the
Oh, go ahead.
exact same analogy, you have to teach the person how to use it. As in, they
Yeah.
Yeah.
may shank somebody, but they may just not understand why they doing it, because that's all thing they see. So as fathers and as parents, we have to teach them the proper way to use it, that tool.
Yeah. Exactly. So that means that we have to actually get familiar with it ourselves. We can't just say like, oh, that's that.
Right.
I'm not that's not what I do. I don't fool with that. Like we actually got to be knowledgeable about what our kids are using, and so that we can actually be a part of that with them.
Hey, let me answer a Quentin question real quick.
Mhm.
He put what age should we have these tough conversations with our children?
Mm.
Uh it's sad but true. If you're 8 years old, is a prime time to start talking. Uh Today we had an incident at one of our elementary schools with a girl with two young ladies, and they were 9 years old. So you know, it might seem tough, but at the end, like I said, they have the world at their hands. You
Mhm.
know, believing in Santa Claus is not feasible anymore. You know, just because of the research, the information, the knowledge they have. So, in order, we're not. You can't. You know how people try to protect you from it.
Mhm.
You know, it's there. It's out there. So you
Yeah.
can't predict them. You just got to have these. You got to have those tough communication, those tough conversations with them.
Yeah. So
Uh,
Yes.
I agree with
I'll go
brother
ahead, Willie.
JP, because the thing is if you can Google anything,
Hmm.
and you want to tell them before they try to Google it and find out about them on their own. You
Hmm.
Yeah.
can put in Google, you can put it in Google, and you can figure out whatever you try to figure out. And the
Mhm.
rabbit hole that they can fall into is not safe.
Yeah.
Right. That's kind of what I want. That's kind of the road I was going to go down with it. Will, I know JP said around 8. I really think it kind of depends on your child and how they comprehend and take in things that they see. Because I know with my oldest son, who turned 7 in March, but
Mhm.
he's pretty bright. He can watch something. He right now he can tell you the Jackson 5 movie from beginning to end because
Mhm.
he's watched it so many times. So I know if he watches certain things on YouTube or on TV, he'll pick up on it very quickly. So we started the conversation when he was around 5, just because he was on YouTube a lot. And like Terrence said,
Mhm. Yeah.
you can start clicking and clicking and clicking, and you start, and I'll peep in. I'm like, well, you shouldn't be watching this. So, we've added, the pin codes, things to his apps and things like that. But
Mhm.
I really think you have to kind of see, you kind of have to see how your child kind of reacts to certain things on social media, or how they take it in. Because some kids can watch things and might not have any type of reaction, or it just rolls off their shoulders. And some really take it in and really
Yeah.
question some of this stuff. And I know that's how my child is, so I kind of rolled back to teaching a little earlier.
Yeah. So you're saying you got to kind of feel them out, have
Oh
like
yeah,
little conversations with them along the way,
no doubt. Right.
but
kind of see
and
what
see, like
they
and
see
like
and
Willie
experiencing.
and like Willie just said, YouTube, Google, clicking. My daughter, and like I said, she was around the age of 5, 6. I think she was 7, 6. She was 6, and she, I like I said, I just walked in on her, and she had a phone, and she, like you said, it just popped up on her phone, and she was looking, And that's when I was like, dang, was I too late? Am I missing something or whatever? But you know, I, from that point on, I start, because like I said, I talked to him about every other kid from high school on. But then my daughters and stuff, I was like, well, now we need to kind of just ease into the conversation. And so now, you just pray and comfort and trust and in the communication line. That's one strong thing. But like everybody's saying, man, you gotta feel your kids out, you gotta communicate with them. And,
Yeah.
they
So
got
I,
information.
I have a question then, especially for Terrence, JP, and Eric.
Mm.
Whose responsibility is it to have that talk, especially that talk around sex? And see, y'all have girls, and I know a lot of times, you look at, oh, you have a girl and you got a wife, let her go in there and talk. But as a father, do you feel kind of obligated to have that same talk?
I said yes.
Yeah.
Because what's the point of you being there if she doesn't get to have the insight of a guy, right? I haven't had that talk with my oldest yet. She's 6. Obviously, that's a little early for that type of talk. But when that time comes, like I feel like it'll be, an advantage for her to be able to have some sort of insight from a male perspective of what's out there and kind of what's to come, and you know, kind of what she should, expect and how to deal with it. What do you think, Terrence?
JP, you about to say something?
No,
Yeah, I guess I think it's extremely important for the guy to have that conversation. Eric said it really good. Where they get, we are their first example of how a guy should treat them, and we have to treat them a certain way and treat their mother a certain way. But also we have to teach them by showing and also talking to them, having those conversations, those extremely tough conversations.
Yeah, it ain't awkward at all, is it, Terrence?
It'll be forever awkward.
Can I say one thing?
Yep.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't get to physically play the role of a father anymore because my daughter is no longer here and she
Mm,
passed at 7. But
mm,
longer than anybody in the podcast, I've been on a bus with children for
mm.
for 16 years. I started when I was 21.
Oh
So
Look
man.
at that.
I've had 16 years of experience with dealing with kids. And
Ooh.
I've seen changes over the years where uh, the kids that I used to have that respected me,
Mm,
um, that's changing now. These kids, the conversations that I've heard around kids from 16 years ago is a whole different conversation that we're hearing around kids now. There are kids in middle school that's talking about a whole lot of things, and they don't know that we know I know what they're
mm,
talking about because I guess they feel like I'm very very old. But it's some stuff that our kids talk about that when they're not around their parents that you will be surprised to hear. Now, whether if I could have had the chance to talk to my daughter about stuff like that, I would have,
mm,
but we never got to that point. So I try to encourage and motivate and talk to kids that I can pull to the side and say this and that, and I know I'm not overstepping my boundaries because also as school people, as as school leaders and stuff, we also
mm.
got to stay within our bounds because it's even though we might want to say something to a child to try to help them, we also can't overstep the parent. So I
Yeah.
try to say stuff to help, but nothing that I know they're gonna go back and tell their mom that's gonna come back to jeopardize my job.
Yeah.
So it's we're living in a different society based off of just not just social media, but parents. Like now,
Mm.
you look at like Josh got 10 children and he's 30, 35. You just think about that. You think about that when my mom is 66 with 6 children. So you just think about how the different ages has changed
Mm-hmm.
from my mama being in her 30s when she had me till the age of the parents now that I've driven kids. Now I'm driving kids, other kids that I've driven. So, it's
Wow,
different.
that's crazy. So what
And
age
see,
what age group are you driving, Jakey?
I drive all.
All of
Drive
okay.
all of them.
Oh, look.
so
From
so which
all
so which
from
age group
kindergarten to the high school. I
I
drive them
think
all.
I
so
think you
which
drop a couple parents over at work too.
that's interesting. Especially when you mention it, kind of like the conversations kids have when their parents not there. Over the time you've
Yeah.
been driving,
You'll
what's
be
the
surprised.
most shocking like age group to you? Because in my mind, I would think like the
Middle
high
school.
schoolers, oh, the middle school.
Yeah.
Middle school. Oh, it's the middle school.
Wow. So that's
Sixth,
when they.
7th, and 8th graders, you will be surprised. And you'll be more surprised at 6th graders than anybody else. Because the stuff that they talk about,
Wow.
I don't even think I knew what that was in 6th grade.
well, and see,
Man.
and that goes back to the original point of who should have these conversations. As a, it's both. Like,
Yeah.
and kids, like you said, the conversation these kids now is ridiculous. Because they got all this information, they see all this stuff, and like you said, you'd be surprised. 6, 7, 8th grade, put like this, 6th graders now are making adult videos, and they're not just sharing it; they're airdropping it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so it's crazy. So the more people that tag team and have the conversation with it, I understand what you're saying, J2, but man, we just got to be honest with them and just tell
Yeah.
them,
Now, there are certain conversations that you, Josh, can have with your players because you're that coach and you won't have an issue with parents. But the minute the bus
Yeah.
driver pull up and say, "Hey," to the child, it becomes a whole different little subject.
Oh yeah, they gonna meet you at the
Yeah.
stop.
I'm telling
Yeah,
you, they'll be
they're
waiting
gonna
on
be
you
at the
next time
stop.
you pull up.
So
And what you say to my child, Mr. Bus Driver?
I got,
Jake, you're
I'm,
right, and I think that's why we have to
Yeah.
encourage the fathers that are there, even the ones who may not be there now, but
Yeah.
they can be there. You got to get out there and be that example. I think one of the
Yeah.
things that the kids look for is somebody to be an example.
Hmm.
That's right. It starts at home.
Starts
And,
out.
and to
Yeah.
show it at home, because that's where it is. If you have an example, you set a standard at your house, especially as the male, they
Yeah.
tend to do it. I mean, all of us know as the male, our authority pretty much stand tall. Like my wife can tell my son is very he behaves very well. He don't have no problem, but
Mm.
he try you every now and then, just like any other child.
Oh yeah.
But it's different from the way I say no versus the way my wife say no.
Mm.
No, it's just a little different. And so it's the same way with our kids. As we telling them to do things, it come across different from daddy
Oh
than
yeah.
it do mom.
hey, and I want to say this too. And Renee, you're right. It starts at home, but peer pressure is real, and to see children get, I mean, a child know they, I done seen it where mom, dad's at the house, dad, literally, I know he's killing them, the mom's killing them, but let
Mhm.
alone peer pressure, they still following these kids that's headed down the wrong road. There's too many bad apples that are around the positive kids, if that makes any sense. So when the old saying of when they say it take a village to raise a child, that's
Yeah.
that. I mean, what we get right now in society is really all hands on deck. Because this stuff is real. Peer pressure,
Yeah.
depression, like I said, peer
Hmm.
pressure, depression, bullying, man. And
Yeah.
like I said, I see it every day, and it's sad because if it's eating them up right now as a child, the
Hmm.
most precious and valuable time of their life, and what's gonna happen when they walk across the stage? And but that's where we at in life. That's where
Yeah.
we at.
So so if you guys had one, I guess, piece of advice, because we got varying age ranges, as far as kids in the group. um, for at this point in your fatherhood journey, if you had like one piece of advice you would give to somebody who found out like, oh, I'm gonna be a dad tomorrow, like what would you at this point, what do you feel like is like probably the key to being a good father? And I'll start with you, Jakey.
My advice would be cherish your time,
Mm,
cause
yeah,
life is just not a guarantee. So cherish the time. If I could do anything over, it would be to have my daughter back. So cherish your time.
I agree, man.
Shout
For
out to
real.
JK, man, because
Yeah.
that's a real hard subject to talk about, especially here, knowing that he lost his daughter. Um, I hope I ain't out of place here, but it was today that we had that service, and a lot of us was able to make it, man, and it takes a lot, and
Yeah.
I know it hurts, and we're still here for you, brother.
I
Anytime you
appreciate.
need anything from us, man, we here.
Yeah. Yeah, man. For real. I mean, the epitome of strength, man. I still remember that. Um, well, I guess Rod, you'll be up next.
For me, man, I say, oh, I know you said one, but I got two. I can't help.
Hey,
Uh,
that's fine.
the first thing is don't try to be perfect, man. There's no guideline, there's no book to tell you how to be a daddy, how
Mm,
to be a father. You just got to get in there and do
yeah.
it. Shout out to Terrence and Kim. They actually helped me out a little bit. They made me godparents first, and so they gave me an opportunity to kind of see it, kind of heads up, and get my hands wet a little bit, get my feet wet. I'm sorry, a little bit, but don't try to be perfect, man. Just be daddy. That's all the child really wants you to be. Is just be daddy, and don't
Mhm.
worry about how somebody else is doing it. Because what works for somebody else's child may not work for yours. You
Yeah.
just kind of get in there and do your own thing, man. You
Yeah.
can take advice, but still understand that it's your family.
Mhm.
You the head. Don't let nobody else run your household.
Yeah. All right, Willie D, what you got, man?
So me. Advice. I would say first, breathe.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think about when my wife Akiana Ike called me about our first child, and she was like, "I'm pregnant." She was crying and teary eyed and all that, and I was
Yeah.
just like, "Well, oh well, we having a child, because I mean, at
Mhm.
that point, is we there,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Mhm.
we just move forward." But yeah, kind of like what Rod's saying, I feel like with parenting, it's not going to be perfect. It is
Mm.
a learning experience.
Yes.
Like you say, your kids don't know; they just know you as mommy and daddy.
Yeah.
So it's going to be mess ups, but you got to make sure to make the path that's right for your family.
Yeah.
A lot of us, how our fathers or mothers, how our parents raised us
Mhm.
before. The times are different. It's good to use those tools that we have learned from our parents, but at the same time, we have to
Yeah.
to adapt for the times. So
Yeah.
like I say, you have to be flexible and just you have to be there.
Yeah.
Presence
Yeah.
is key.
Definitely. I agree. Mr. Taylor,
Amen.
what you got?
I think Willie said it best, and that's all I was gonna say. Be there, as in be
Mm.
in the moment. Don't think about what the future holds. Don't think about what you did in the past. Make sure
Mm.
you enjoy the time with them in the moment. Because just like Jakey said, it flies.
Mm.
It can just fly by. My oldest is 13, going on 14. My youngest is 8. He turns 9 this year, and my middle's about to be a middle schooler. So
Man.
in a couple of years, all my kids gonna be middle school, high school. 4 years from now, my oldest gonna be in college. So you
Ooh.
just blink your eyes, and if you don't enjoy the moment, it's gonna be it flies by. So I
Yeah.
say, be there mentally, be there spiritually, and be there physically. Um, enjoy. the now. Don't think too much about the past, all the mistakes that you made with them. Don't think too ahead of time. Just be in the moment.
Hey, good advice, Mr. Pulphus. What you got for us?
Well, I got about 15 things I need to say real quick, but I'm gonna limit it down to two.
Hey, we
Uh,
appreciate that.
all right. But really, what everybody else said, you gotta have. I mean, you gotta everybody. What everybody said is correct, but my two things that help me out is one, prayer. You gotta. I just gotta stay prayed up, and two, relationships. First, I want to give a shout out. I don't know if my wife's still on or not. Y'all saw her come on, man. But
Uh-huh.
by me coaching and by me coaching and working, man, my days and hours are not 8 to 5. They're not. So like I just had a parent just text me at 9:45. You know, about their child. So it's
Mm,
constant. It's always constant. So while I was working, while I was coaching and doing all that stuff, man, she held it down for me.
mm,
When I mean held it down, make sure the kids do their work, man. Because like I tell my kids at school,
mm,
it takes two to make it, and everybody got to know their role in making it. So everybody got to know their role in raising it. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. And she does a great job of making sure they get their homework, making sure they do all the necessities that they need. But
mm,
what's been good for me is building their relationship with them to now, whenever I need to hit home, hammer, do something, we still got that line of communication,
mm,
uh, whenever time's available to spend it with them, we'll just talking, singing, playing, dancing, laughing with them, or me trying to learn they language, anything to make them smile, just to have their relationship with them.
yeah,
So those been big for me. Those been key for me. Prayer, because that's one thing about it. God knows our heart. He knows what we want to do. He knows our desires,
mm,
and He knows when, like I said, when I be gone and have to miss something. You just gotta. I just stay prayed up and just have those relationships. So
yeah,
for any new father and father be, they'll be my two biggest advice.
yeah.
Prayer and just build that relationship while you can.
Okay. Great advice. I guess I'll go last. Willie kind of, I think um, what he said resonated a lot. Like I said, I have a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old daughter. Um, and I still remember when Ashley first told me was pregnant with my oldest. Like I was asleep, she woke me up, and I already knew. Like as soon as she woke me up, I just looked up. You pregnant? Like she didn't say nothing, just out the blue. I just knew the fact that she was waking me up in the middle of the night because we've been trying and um, but just my piece of advice, like I said, piggybacking off of Terrence and Willie, is just being present, being in the moment. Kids got short memories, but things they do remember is if you was there or not. Um, Maybe when I get older and I get to actually talk to my kids and have more fleshed out conversations with them about when they were growing up, they'll tell me something different. But as of right now, the thing that just sends them over the moon is just being there, like seeing daddy, seeing mom as well, but just knowing that you're gonna be there and be a part of their life and support them in what they're doing. That's irreplaceable. I mean, it's irreplaceable. Um, and I think it's going to pay dividends as well for their self confidence, especially in the time we have now. Social media and them having so much input into what they should be and think and feel about themselves, um, providing that foundation of support that's unwavering for them, I think is really going to be a big part in helping them navigate through these crazy middle school and high school waters from which y'all telling me. I'm not ready, but I'm hoping and like J Key saying, stay prayed up, man, because J Key scared me a little bit, man. He said this kid's talking reckless in middle
You
school.
wouldn't understand.
so so yeah,
I can
man.
get your female contract ready. Or your daughter contract ready.
Hey man, I'm about to get that typed up, man. But yeah, it's interesting, man. And just blessed to have a group of brothers like y'all, man. That you know, outside of being friends, we all fathers, and um, just having somebody to kind of just share and vent and fellowship with. That's kind of going through the same thing, man. That's priceless to me. Um, yeah. So it is 10:10. Been over a little bit of an hour. Um, if as they say, if all hearts and minds are clear, um, we can go ahead and kind of do the final word unless anybody has anything else they want to say about the topics we talked about tonight. Everybody good? All right. Yeah. So next up in the next podcast, will be podcast number 3, and I think that'll be a good time to share memories of Mr. T. Taylor. So next time we'll have him introduce himself. Everybody share, the time when they met him and the memory they have with him, and also as the final word, um, in the same vein of fatherhood, we'll talk about financial growth and just being a role model, not only for your kids, but in your community as well. Because like we know, people are watching you whether you know it or not. Um, I know I had somebody from high school reach out to me a couple of years ago, and he just sent me a Facebook message, and he just let me know like, "Hey man, I always looked up to you." And in high school, he was kind of like a around the way kid a little bit, but um, he told me that he looked up to me like as a role model, and I never knew that. So this kind of goes to show like you never know who's watching you, and we'll touch on that next podcast. But guys, until next time, this has been Apartment for a Podcast. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Definitely check us out on YouTube, and we'll be going live on Facebook next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Till next time, guys, we'll holler at you. Peace.